Perfect. All right. Well, welcome to the class today. Today's class is going to be on Gemini Advanced. So you may potentially be more familiar with ChatGPT or have heard that before, but this is now accessible through your k2b.com email. Now, the fun part about this is Gemini Advanced is basically the advanced version of Gemini. So this is the equivalent of having to pay for Gemini to utilize, right? So there's a couple things that will be available, a few things that won't be available, unfortunately, since this is the Gemini option for Keller Williams Realty, as you can see on here. But first thing first, in order to access this, and I'll put this in our chat section as well too, you want to make sure you go to gemini.google.com and sign in with your KW email and password. So gemini.google.com. Now, this is, once you sign in, it should automatically display Gemini Advanced on here. All right, so this is the most updated version of Gemini that you can utilize. And as you can see on here, it's going to be the 2.0 Flash version as of today on February 14th, 2025. All right, but you should automatically have this upgraded version. Now, a couple big things that you can actually do on here. You can actually request it to that come with the advanced side in comparison to the regular side. So one thing that I love to highlight on here that I've even started utilizing ever since this came over, because I did not have it previously on, just the regular Chat GPT or any of that sort, is the ability to make custom images on here. So that's one of the best things on it. We can also get it to analyze documents if we want to. So from here, I can upload different images and files to have it analyze that. I can have it analyze code on here. All right, and it's fantastic for more of a professional use than just everyday tasks. So I'm going to go through a couple big things that I may suggest utilizing on Gemini Advanced as a real estate agent and how you can take advantage of this. And also, just to let you know, there is a Gemini app. So if you do want to download the Gemini app, you can go to the App Store or the Play Store to put it on your phone to be able to utilize it in real time as well, too. All right. So first thing first, when looking at this on here, if you've utilized ChatGPT before, or maybe you utilize Gemini as well too, same functionality. We can actually go through and enter a prompt to be able to get that information back that we'll want to utilize. All right, so I'm just going to go through a couple different options right now of what we can use on here. So first and foremost, when taking a look at this, I'm going to use a couple different prompts that I have. So as a real estate agent, one of the best things that I would highly suggest utilizing this platform for is really anything content creation oriented, right? So maybe, for instance, I want to go through here and I want to say, I need a listing description. All right, so I'm going to say, let's hop over here. I'm actually going to go to k2b.com real quick, and I'm just going to pull up a listing in my area. So pulling up properties around myself. Let's see. Let's go with this one on here. All right. So actually, you know what? Let's do a different one that's not a Keller Williams one. All right. So we're going to go with this one on here. So in this case, I can actually take this, and it obviously already has a listing description. We have everything. But first and foremost, if I come on here, I could then go over to Gemini and say, create a listing description for this address on here. And it'll automatically spit this out for me right away. So as you can see how quick and easy it was to do this. And this will actually save a little bit of time for you. So it's pulling up different items on here. Now, once again, if you have this listing, now this one, once again, is already active inside the MLS. So we already have the listing description, so we can disregard this one. But if this is one that you're utilizing, well, you might want to go through and say, well, hey, where it pulled the source and the content on here from, that might be a little bit outdated. All right, so maybe instead of 1,993 square feet, all right, it actually has 2,400 square feet because they did an addition. All right, or maybe I want to go through and add inside they've upgraded their kitchen on here. So I can then give it additional information to add inside as well too. All right, so I can come on here and say, add in the fact that the kitchen was remodeled in 2024 and a new addition has been added of 400 square feet as a mother-in-law suite. right? So I can give that information on here, and then it's automatically going to go through and create this for us as well. So it's now taking that info and adjusting this. All right. So as you can see, boasting 1,993 square feet of original living space, plus newly added 400 square foot mother-in-law suite. All right. This is fantastic on here where we can actually grab this information. And if you notice, it even has on here optional, briefly describe the features of the mother-in-law suite here. For example, the suite includes a private entrance, a kitchenette, a full bathroom, and a comfortable living area. All right, so that'll all be accessible on here. All right, so now as you can see, approximately 2,393 square feet. And they even talked about right up here, the kitchen remodel in 2024 is open to the dining area and showcases modern finishes and appliances. All right, now obviously whatever is first written on here, we always want to go through and reread it, make sure everything's good to go. And if you notice at the bottom down here, one of the biggest things, it says your Keller Williams Realty Inc. chats aren't used to improve our models. But the biggest thing on here is Gemini can make mistakes, so double check it. All right, so always double check everything on here. But one of the quickest things that you can use this for is getting that content created. So one of the examples that I love highlighting is listing descriptions. All right, so if you have a listing that you need created on here, this will be fantastic to me. All right, now outside of listing descriptions, another fantastic one that you may want to utilize is for just scripts. All right, so maybe I'm doing, lead generation or cold calling, and I want to have a script ready to go. So I could say, hey, let's write a phone script, for a real estate agent to chat with a potential home seller about their property and what they may be looking to do in the future. Right, add in the fact that mortgage rates are declining. Okay, so that'll actually give me some potential scripts on here that I can utilize. Now, once again, obviously read through everything, give additional feedback because this is consistently learning on here. All right, so in this case, it just says agent, enthusiastic and friendly tone. Hello, this is obviously your name from Keller Williams Realty. I'm calling because I noticed you own a lovely property at 123 Main Street, and I was curious if you've given any thought to your real estate plans in the future. All right, so I'll actually put this on here as well. Here's what the seller may say. All right, that's perfectly fine either way. I understand these things take time, so items that you can actually go back and forth on. So it's going to give you a bunch of different items that you can actually utilize. And once again, we can go through and adjust this at any time on here too. So if I see this and I'm like, you know what, there's a section on here, maybe if I'm reading through this, perfect. So maybe I don't want to highlight, are you considering downsizing, upsizing, relocating, or perhaps something else entirely? So maybe I want to say, change, oh, here we go. Change this section. There we go. To talk more about what the seller would love in their next home. All right, and then once again, here's everything that'll actually pop up on here. So it's giving us that new section on here that we can take a look at. All right. So it's fantastic just to see how quickly this can actually be created on here and how easy it is to use. All right, so going through a couple other options on here. So we talked about home descriptions. We talked about seller consultation on here. Another big option that you can utilize on this as well too is just for maybe some ideas. All right, so maybe you just want to spitball some options on here, and instead of searching, you can say, what are some of the top, lead magnet ideas for real estate agents in 2025 located in Orlando, Florida. So I'm going to make it even more descriptive around my area. All right, so here are a couple different things that I can actually utilize on here just for idea generation. So high value content offers, Orlando relocation guide, investing in Orlando real estate, ultimate guide to buying a vacation home in Orlando neighborhood comparison charts. So then I can come on here and I could say, hey, maybe I want to use this of all the different ideas that they've given me so far. And then it even says on here, remember to tailor your lead magnet to your target audience, make it visually appealing. easy to consume, promote your lead magnet on your website. So maybe I want to say, Orlando neighborhood comparison chart. Let's say, can you create this for me? Please highlight, I'm going to say Baldwin Park, Thornton Park, and Winter Park. All right, let's see if it'll be able to do it on this. I haven't tried this one out yet. All right, but now it's actually creating this on here as well too. As you can see, this chart is for informational purposes on here. It'll actually give us the information. Now, a little bit harder to view this one. Normally it has an option where you can copy it or view it over inside, like in this case, over in Google Sheets or anything of that sort. So look, I kind of see this on here. All right, but that way we can actually compare this as well too. But it even says how to use this lead magnet. Download PDF, create a visually appealing PDF chart, call to action, want to learn more about the Orlando neighborhoods. So it's great that it'll actually give us this information that we can utilize on here. All right, so taking this info and be able to go through and say, hey, here's anything and everything that we want to highlight on here. And then more importantly, how we can actually use this to get in front of our clients is the biggest item possible. Now, once again on here, obviously, this is primarily used in some cases for, content creation like we're going over right now. There are other options as well, too. So I can even go through, you could technically do it based off of an image. I can even go through and once again, upload different files on here. So for instance, I'm going to pull up my file on here. I had a February newsletter that I had earlier today. I was downloading this on the HTML side. So I have all the code on here. So I could say, display the attached code for me to upload onto a website instead of sending it out as a newsletter. All right, let's see if it'll update this on here. I was working on this earlier today. Yep, so here's the code from the attached newsletter, ready for you to upload to your website. All right, so once this comes through, then I could click the copy button and it'll give me all that information right away that I can use. And it's automatically adding in all this info on. All right. It looks like it's still going through on here. Let's see once it's completed in this case. There we go. So it's now completed on here. All right, and then if I'm not 100% sure, I can then come on here and say, is the code set up to display properly on my site without featuring any email elements? Right, I can just start that chat back and forth on here. All right, so as you can see, while the provided code will technically display on a website, it's primarily designed for email clients and may not render optimally without some adjustments. So then what I might want to do on here is say, can you please remove those items from the code? Let's see if they can actually do this for me. There you go. So now it's starting to work on this immediately. All right, so I just want to show you some fun things that you can actually utilize on here. Now, the chances that you're probably going to be adding inside code or anything of that sort, not too likely, but I do just want to give you a heads up, especially if you happen to have a marketing person or anyone on your team that, might be doing this or helping you out. This will help to make their life a little bit easier as well, too. All right, now back into some of the different content items. One of my favorite things, speaking of the marketing side that you can utilize, is for blog posts and content creation. Now, obviously going through and getting content out in front of people, content is key at the end of the day, or content is king, I guess I should say, at the end of the day. So there's a plethora of content consistently coming out forever. All right, so in this case, maybe I want to say, write a 500-word blog about, let's say about the Orlando real estate buying process for a first-time home buyer. And what are the top items they need to know before they make an offer? All right, so let's see what it comes up with. So once again, it's consistently adding in this information for us. And as I said multiple times now, Gemini can make mistakes, so double check it on it. So always go through and check this to make sure everything is working correctly. All right, but as you can see, right away, immediately navigating the Orlando real estate market, a first-time home buyer's guide. Buying your first home is a huge milestone. The vibrant Orlando real estate market offers exciting opportunities for new homeowners. So I love the fact that we can just go through here, specify a couple items, add this in, and then now we have a 500-piece blog that previously would have taken 30 minutes to an hour to create. And I can even come on here and say, let's make the blog optimize for the keyword Orlando real estate, and include in the call to action to reach out to Scott Leroy for any additional items for help. All right. So once it's created, we can then go through and get this updated, and it's spitting this out at rapid rates. So I love how quickly this will come out on here that we can actually utilize this. And if you notice, some of the items that we added in said, hey, on here, Orlando real estate. All right. And we can go through and modify the selected text, as you can see, but it's bolding this just a little bit where we can see those keywords that are getting added inside. All right. And if I go down to the call to action at the very end on here, for any additional questions or assistance with your Orlando real estate needs, reach out to Scott Leroy today. All right. So this is a fantastic way for us to be able to go through and just get this created. All right. And same thing as well. If you've had the same bio for years, you can get this updated. And a couple things I want to highlight for you is that this is going to make your life so much simpler, because now I can go through and take one thing and convert it to many. So I may want to start my next option on here saying, create a real estate bio of, let's say, 300 words for myself, Scott Leroy, a licensed, there we go. I was about to say, realtor in the Orlando, Florida area. You ever look at a word and you're just like, that's not how it's spelled. That's how it's spelled. All right, so let's see what pops up on here. So Scott Leroy is a dedicated and passionate real estate professional serving the vibrant Orlando, Florida community. Licensed and committed to providing exceptional service, Scott understands that buying or selling a home is a significant life event, and he strives to guide his clients through every step of the process with expertise and care. All right, and so on here, I come on here and say, all right, add in the fact that I graduated with a bachelor's of marketing from the University of North Texas. There we go. And have been a real estate agent for 5 years. Let's add something like that inside. So we can go through and then start to custom tailor this. And once again, you're not having to do anything at all. All right, this is all coming through and adjusting this side. All right, so I love adding this in just to make it a little bit easier, because then not only do we have our bio, I can then say, convert this to a newsletter style that I can send out to my, let's say, contacts. All right, and now it's automatically added this in for us. So as you can see, it's then given us some ideas of, hello, client name. As your dedicated Orlando real estate expert, I'm excited to connect and share some insights in the current market. All right, about me, then the Orlando market update, featured properties, client testimonial, my services, let's connect. So I can say, change the newsletter to just be an introduction to myself and how I can help. All right, so we can make some updates on here right away. All right, so it's that simple to go through and grab this content, because then we can take this, put this over inside whatever email we want to send this out through. Maybe we want to send it out through command, maybe you're utilizing a different platform, or you just want to send this out as an email through maybe your Gmail account, your kv.com email. You can get this out immediately on it. So I love highlighting this on here just to make it even easier. And even if you have a couple questions, like maybe you're going through and saying, hey, I don't know what I should get as closing gifts. I am a real estate agent and I want to invest in closing gifts that are personalized with my information and provide a local touch around Orlando, Florida. All right, so the more information that I give to it, the more info I'm going to get back on here. So the fact that all of a sudden I'm saying, I'm a real estate agent, I want to invest in closing gifts that are personalized with my information and provide a local touch around the area. Obviously, that's just a very general item to put on there, but the fact that I put inside Orlando, great. So now it's going to go through and say for experiences, I could do theme park tickets on here. A family 4-pack to Disney World, Universal Studios, or SeaWorld. I could do dinner and movies. Or sorry, dinner and a show on here. Hot air balloon ride. They have plenty of those around here. Membership to a local attraction, right? The Orlando Science Center, right down the road over here. All right, personalized items, maybe a custom map of Orlando, engraved cutting board, custom artwork, personalized coasters, local products on here, unique and creative ideas. All right, so some great options that are available just to help out. And once again, I can use this as my own little assistant on here to get everything I need right away. Now, one other thing I do want to take a look at on Gemini Advanced on here is that I am currently right now just putting in new chat after new chat after new chat. You also have something on here called gyms, and you'll have your gym manager. So if I click on gym manager, you can see the ones that have been pre-made by Google on here. And these are just different items that are, think of it kind of as like a saved search at the end of the day. Different items on here that you can actually just have saved that you can start to utilize. So for all these prompts that I'm talking about right now, well, maybe I want to save them. All right, so if you notice on here, I've got a listing descriptions one that I've already created. All right, and if I look at this for like brainstormer, for instance, find inspiration easily, fresh ideas for parties, gifts, businesses, and more. So if I click on this, now I can see brainstormer, finance, once again, same thing. So maybe I want affordable and creative gift ideas for my friend's birthday, how to decorate an office space to look cozy yet professional, help me plan a large family reunion. What are some fun picnic ideas for kids? All right, so I can click on this, for instance. It's automatically going to save that. So kind of like a save search. All right, so it says on here, you're looking for fun picnic ideas for kids. Great. To make sure I come up with the best ideas, tell me a little bit more about what you have in mind. What are the kids' ages? Are there any specific themes? So I'm going to say on here, this is actually for 2 adults for Valentine's Day. And will be around the downtown Orlando area. I'm going to put Florida on here to be safe. Area. Right. And then finally, a couple more questions on here. What kind of atmosphere you're hoping for? So I'm going to say fun and playful atmosphere. We will need to pack our own food and beverages. And looking to do this around 6 p.m. There you go. So now we've got this ready to go right away. All right, as you can see at the end, they've got a couple different items on here right away. So Urban Jungle Love Picnic, Artful Affection Picnic, Starry Nights Bites Picnic, and then different items on here around the area that we can actually do. All right, and then once again, it says on here, do any of these ideas tickle your fancy? Or are there any other details you'd like to add or change? Perhaps you have a favorite type of cuisine. Let's make this picnic perfect for you. So it's going to work with you to help with that. So under the gym manager, I can come on here under my gyms. I've got one currently for listing descriptions. All right. And then I can see on here, listing descriptions. This is my custom one. So I have one set up, create a new listing description for 123 Main Street. Okay, I can help you with that. Complete a compelling listing description for 123 Main Street. I need some more information. All right, so then I can add in this info to help out immediately. All right, so I can come back and say, it's a 3-bed, 2-bath, 2,000 square feet. Lot size is 0.25 acres. There is an upgraded kitchen with new appliances, and the property was built in 1952. Let's go with that. All right, and it'll automatically make all this for me. So once again, this is kind of full circle on the one that we started with on there, but I just want to give you some ideas as to what all is accessible. So for the gym manager on here, you can then go through and click that new gym option and start to add inside the name on here what you want. So maybe I want to make one that's going to be primarily on here for real estate scripts. All right, and then for the instructions, as you can see, what are your gym's main objectives and capabilities, and what style of response do you want? All right, so I can say, Geez. All right. In this case, this is meant for real estate scripts to be created for calling potential home sellers and home buyers. Now, one of my favorite things on here is then I can come on here, I can add inside files as well too if I want to keep that, or I can use Gemini to rewrite the instructions. So if I click rewrite on here, I can have a very basic one sentence instruction on here. Now is it. Gemini is now going to take this and completely update this. So here are the purpose and goals. Assist real estate professionals in crafting effective scripts for contacting potential home sellers and buyers. Provide a variety of script templates for different scenarios and purposes. Offer guidance on language, tone, and persuasive techniques to enhance script effectiveness. So I can now save this on here and utilize that later on as well too. All right, so I can start this chat on here. Real estate scripts. Let's say I need a new script for, let's say, going after FSBOs. Right, so what's the primary goal of the script? What is your target audience within the FSBO category? Do you have any specific requirements for the script? I'm going to say primary goal. Let's say obtain a showing appointment. Actually, not showing, sorry, my apologies. A listing appointment. All right, I'm going to say the target audience on here. Anyone that is selling on their own. We're going to keep it general. All right, and then do we have any specific requirements on here? And then for requirements, keep the tone light and friendly. All right, here we go. All right, so here's a couple of script options. So the good part is we're then going to get multiple variations on here, what we can actually do. All right, so script option number one, the helpful neighbor. Hey, I'm Scott, or sorry, hello, not hey, I'm Scott, but hello, insert neighbor's name. I'm Scott, a local real estate agent. I noticed your sign on, 123 Main Street and wanted to reach out. Selling a home can be quite the undertaking. I just want to offer my support. All right, so we'll have the opening, the value proposition, the call to action, either the close or even the closing on here. And we can actually take these and once again, adjust that right away. All right. Now, one other thing I do want to highlight for y'all on here that I love taking a look at is that we can then actually set up, maybe instead of just making content, we also want to set up items for us to do. All right, so I can come on here and I've got one already created on here that I'm going to save, but maybe I want to go through and make a social media marketing plan. I'm going to paste this in because I already had this saved earlier today that I was working on. Develop a social media marketing plan for promoting listings and engaging with potential clients. Include a content calendar with post ideas, etc. Property photos, market insights. And I also said to target platforms, Instagram, Facebook, and engagement tactics of hashtags and polls. So on here, increase brand awareness, generate leads, and drive traffic to property listings. Target audience, it'll vary on here. Here are the platforms. All right, here are the content pillars on here. And then here's a content calendar. So on Monday on Instagram, new listing spotlight, stunning 3-bedroom family home, relevant hashtags on here, visuals, high quality photos, video walkthrough. Now on Tuesday, Instagram on here, obviously you've got one for Facebook, market insights, infographic on recent sales trends. So it's going to give us what we can do on here. Now in this case, I can then export this to Sheets so I can have that saved, right? And it's going to let us know how we can actually create this. So at the end of the day, we will still need to do some of it, or I could even come back and say, create a 30-day real estate content calendar to post onto Facebook with descriptions of what should be posted each day. So I could do something even as simple as this on here. All right, so now it's going to tell me what to put on it as well. So day one, introduction post. Introduce yourself, your team, your specialties, what makes you unique. So this is going to give me my entire calendar of what I actually need to do. And I can take this and start to make this immediately. So now it's taking out all the process of me having to think through certain things on here to help out even more. All right, and if there's anything that I want to change, I can just reach out to this to have it changed as well too. All right, and I can even come in here and say, add inside examples for each day. of what should be posted. There we go. So now if I want to, I can literally take this information, copy this, and then go inside there and take wherever it has these brackets on here and adjust this to then post inside my own info. So now I'm making it even easier on here. Now, two final things I did want to show you on Gemini Advanced, and I know I said this was going to be a shorter class today because I did just want to go through and show you some great things that you can utilize now that it is available for you to take advantage of through your KDB.com email. All right, one more big item on here under the, if I do a new chat, you can also have images created. Now, it's not going to be able to create every type of image. So I can't come on here and say, for instance, create an image for 123 Main Street in Orlando, Florida with a for sale sign. Now, the reason I'm going to say this is it more than likely is going to create something on here, but it's not going to be anything that I'd want to post. So as you can see, creating your image with Imagine 3. And let's take a look at what this will create on here. So it'll be great for very general stuff, but it's like, that's not 123 Main Street. This for sale sign on here is not one that I want to utilize, for instance. And it's definitely not 123 on there. And so in this case, if you are utilizing this for any type of images, always, be safe on here. All right. So if you want to use something for something creative, for instance, maybe I want to say create an image of a happy home buyer that just closed. All right, so if I want to use a very general one that maybe I want to put inside over in, my blog, or I want to post this out over on Facebook or anything of that sort. All right, it'll add this in for us to utilize right away. There you go. All right, so something very general, very stock on here. All right, and as you can see, ask Gemini to refine images. With image generation in Gemini, your imagination is the limit. If what you see doesn't quite match what you had in mind, try adding more details to the prompt. The more specific you are, the better Gemini can create images that reflect your vision. All right, so just some fun stuff that we can add in on here that you can utilize. Now, once again, the reason I always suggest, keeping it general on here is because if I come on here and say, create a picture of Scott Leroy holding a for sale sign. All right. Well, once we do that on here, it's going to more likely come back up saying that it can't create this. All right. So that's why I always say keeping it, you can make it specific, but keep it general. So you don't want to say, hey, do this on here. Well, it actually created one on here. That's not Scott Leroy, and that's not how you spell the name on there, but that's okay. Right. That was close. So I always like to say, be safe on this whenever you're utilizing the images, because sometimes they're not going to come out the best way possible. But utilizing this for any type of additional content creation will help out tremendously. All right, so I just wanted to give you all a heads up of what is available on Gemini Advanced, some of the best ways that you can utilize this. And then also, if you go to scottleroymarketing.com, so scottleroymarketing.com, and you sign in with your Market Center number, all right, so whatever your office Market Center number may be, so I'm going to sign in with Office 25 as an example, for instance. Then under Agent Resources, once you sign in, under Marketing Support, there is Gemini Advanced and Chat GPT prompts that you can utilize. We've curated, over 100 prompts that you can use on. All right, so in this case, we've got top 10 prompts that you can use as a real estate agent. We have 100 prompts for your real estate business for assisting buyers, helping sellers, pricing and marketing analysis. And then as you scroll down, we'll even have lead generation prompts. All right, we'll have open house prompts, door knocking prompts, first 90 days, listing descriptions, buyer agents, listing agents, right? All these items will be available. And all you'll have to do is just come on here and grab something, or not grab something, but grab these, and of course, tweak it if you'd like to. So on here, I have what are some questions I can ask buyers during our first consultation to understand their needs, preferences, and budget. All right, so if I add this inside, it's now going to give me some information I can utilize. All right. Now, the last thing that I will highlight on here that I personally love utilizing ChatGPT, Gemini, any type of AI software for, is also going through and adjusting anything I might be sending out. All right. So in this case, we can then go through and say, maybe I'm sending out an email, for instance. So I'm going to say, rewrite this email be more elegant. All right, so maybe I want to say my email says, hello, my name is Scott Roy. I am reaching out to see you may interested in selling your home. All right. Way better. So I put in one sentence on here and it says, Dear homeowner, my name is Scott Leroy. I'm writing to express my interest in your property located at property address. I'm exploring options in this area and your home has particularly caught my attention. I'd be grateful for the opportunity to discuss the possibility of considering a sale. So this one in this case is more about them. So I probably should have specified, hey, this is actually about myself as a real estate agent. So I'm going to say rewrite this as I am a real estate agent reaching out to see if they may be interested in selling and would like to represent them. There you go. And now we can get that information created on here right away. All right. So take advantage of everything that's accessible on here. I love the fact that you now have Gemini Advanced available on here, an even better version of the regular Gemini platform. You're going to be able to go through here and add inside anything and everything that you might want to find. And once again, utilizing this for content side is going to be one of the best ways to take advantage of it. Utilize this on the Gym Manager so you can save this as well too. And then more importantly, download that app so you can use that on the go. And of course on here, take advantage of all these extra prompts that we have just to help yourself out. All right, this is going to make your life a little bit easier at the end of the day. So then that way you can actually go through and start working on the things that matter. You can now go through and say, hey, I'm going to help people buy and sell homes. And this is just going to be my new AI assistant to push through everything even quicker. All right. So that's going to be it for the class today. Just a quick one to start on this. Obviously, we're going to be doing more AI classes like this moving forward, specifically on Gemini Advanced, since that is available for you through your KDB.com email. All right, so we're going to get this going even more so with more examples. This was the first one of us doing on here, so we just want to start with some of the basics. But of course, if you ever have any questions or need anything, please feel free to reach out at any time. All right. So thank you so much for coming to class today. If y'all need anything at all, let us know. That is what we're here for. All right. And more importantly, I hope you'll have a fantastic day and have a phenomenal Valentine's Day as well, too. All right. Have a great day today, and we'll see y'all soon.